What's up, everybody? Good morning. How's it going? Got my trusted companion here. He's my front porch dog. And we just hang on the front porch every now and then and drink some coffee. It's a great mug. It's actually from a previous retreat. My guy Mike Ringhofer gave it to me. Do hard things. It's good to have coffee mugs that remind you of places you've been. I have another one from an Airbnb I was in. Yeah, I had to get that mug. It was a sick mug. I have another one from Breckenridge, and just different places I go, Cave Creek, Sedona. And the mugs are a great remembrance of where I was at, what I was into at that time. And the mornings is the best time of day. So when you're drinking your coffee and you're looking at your mug, you're like, dang, that's cool. This coffee is cool, and where I was at was cool. So you just got positive momentum. You create positive momentum right from the beginning of the day. And on that note, on positive momentum, morning, brother. And on that note, on positive momentum, when you're generating positive momentum in life, oftentimes people, when they want to achieve something, the goal is really, really big. And that's good. I would never discourage you from setting big, awesome goals. But the one problem with setting big, awesome goals is your expectations are so high. And when your expectations are so high, you're typically making decisions that are really big that don't actually generate momentum. Momentum is generated in the mundane, in the small, in the little. So when I'm looking at a big goal, okay, here's a great example. It's tangible. A big goal for me this year is to run 50 miles at the Backyard Ultra. And for some, that might sound like a lot, and for others, it might not sound like much. But for me and my life circumstances, with having a newborn in the house and a 12-year-old who turns 13 next month, and business and just overall life, 50 miles is a big jump for me because 31 at 50K is my best. So this year, if I would have set a goal to run 100 miles, like if my expectation was 100, well, then I would have started, my actions would have to be to run 100 miles. So it would look like, 25 plus miles a week of running, maybe 30, maybe 40, maybe 50. Like it would just start climbing. And with all of that extra running that I was doing, it would actually start taking from other areas of my life. So what it might have felt like I was building momentum in one direction of life, it would be actually taking momentum from another area of life. So when I think about building momentum, I don't just think about one singular goal or one singular area of my life. And I break it into three. It's personal health and growth, relationships, and career. So when I'm looking at these three different areas of my life, I have goals set for each of them. And I want to just chip away at each of those goals. I don't want to dial up too high on one of the goals, because what it actually does is it dials back on another area of my life and another goal that I have. So oftentimes when folks go to set high expectations for themselves, which are good, you should have high expectations for yourself, but you should go about it in a way that says, I'm going to either A, increase my timeline, which is good, and or B, and B, not just and or, let's just go and B, I need to be aware of the other areas of my life. Because while you might find progress in one area, the lack of progress in another is going to have you operating a state of angst, stress, and you're going to still feel behind it. The movement that you have inside of you is not going to be healthy. And you can look back at your life and reflect and recognize that this surely is occurring, or this surely has occurred. So back on the goal. So now all of a sudden it's like, okay, I want to run 50 miles. I have to raise my training. I got to turn the dial up maybe 10%. I got to run a little bit more because I've done 31. So I was like, I could get up to 50 if I just dial up a little bit more, continue to get in good shape, and just continue to improve my fitness. And then I look over at this other areas of my life. I said, okay, I got a baby right now, and this baby loves to walk. So I can just wear my ruck or wear him on all these walks. Now that's extra training that I'm getting for that race. Oh, momentum is awesome whenever you can create more momentum in your life in this awesome way is whenever you start layering your goals. When one area of your life and the things you're doing serves the other area of your life and the goals that you have. So taking my family into nature on hikes and taking them on walks and me wearing my ruck or wearing the kid, that doing that is so good for my family. It's so good for our family dynamic. It's healthy. And it's also really good for me running the 50 miles. So they start layering, they start working on top. And I've been able to navigate the business space to be very similar for me in my particular situation. I am a fitness and personal development coach and a business coach and consultant. And I host a conference. I do some keynote speaking. So doing things like this is obviously good for speaking, good for communication. Writing is good for communication. But what I've actually learned how to do is start layering my personal health and growth with my work. A good example is today I have a 5 mile hike with a friend, and he's in my community. He comes on retreats with me, and we're just meeting up and connecting, working through some things. But I also get to do a 5 mile hike, and maybe I'll wear my ruck or maybe I'll just hike this one, but it starts layering in my personal health. My career now is layered into my personal health and growth. And then tonight at 7 o'clock, I have a run that I'm planned, a 10 mile run. And it so happens to be one of the guys in my community is also training for endurance. So him and I get to spend 2 hours together on this run, just talking about life and working through different dynamics, different philosophy, while we're also both working towards our personal health and growth goals. But I'm still working inside of my career when I'm spending time with these individuals. And what that does is it brings me into a space that I am able to kill two birds with one stone. I'm including people in on the things that I'm already doing and just showing up as myself. So that overlap of career and personal health and growth has also been really great for me. And maybe with your current career, you're not able to do that, but that's okay. You're going to be able to find other opportunities in your life where you're going to start layering these goals. And if you can layer them, lower your expectations. Like, what can you do today to work towards that 50 miler? What can you do today to work towards that side business? For me, when I was starting my business, like, what could I do today was, well, I can start coaching people up at the gym when I see them. And if they ask, like, people just always ask me questions. How'd you get to a 700-pound deadlift? Or how'd you bench 405 for reps? And they're starting to ask, so I'm just taking opportunities in my day to start building my business, start to build momentum in my business. I started becoming the coach on the random Tuesday, on the random Thursday. And that manifested into creating content online. So now I'm like, man, like people are vibing with this in person. Like, let me share it online. So I started sharing that content online. Now, next time I became the coach online because I'm sharing the information that I'm sharing with people in person before I was ever getting paid. I was actually doing this for years. I started building momentum. I started also layering, right? And now I'm layering what I'm doing in person with what I'm doing online. And my expectation wasn't to replace my income in 6 months. My expectation was to be able to deliver value to anybody who was in front of me who was looking to receive value. That was my expectation. So saying that was my expectation and 10K a month wasn't, or 50K a month wasn't, it took all this pressure off of the way I was delivering it. I was able to stay authentic to myself, and I was able to build momentum. So when you're going to build momentum, increase your timeline, lower your expectations, come into reality with what it is that you're going to be actually able to do on a day-to-day basis. We often overestimate what we can do in a day and underestimate what we can do in a year. So chip away at this, and do your best to overlap these goals that you have for yourself and your personal health and growth, career, and relationships. See if you can't overlap them some to be able to create more momentum in your life. We are complex creatures. We're not so one dimensional. No matter how much we try to be and try to go all in on our career, you might achieve it, but the next thing you know, your family dynamics are all out of whack and you still feel stressed. And it's like, that ain't it, man. And then you're like you're a super big family man, and that's so rad, but you guys scrape by, you just don't have enough money to get by. So like you're always stressing money. So like that ain't it either. Or you do really good in your career and you're pretty in tight with your family and your health is just super out of whack. You're out of shape, you never feel well. Like, man, that ain't it either. So we need to make sure that we're stacking and we're building momentum in each area of these lives, and we're doing it simultaneously, and we're not biting off more than we can chew. Hope this message finds you guys well. I hope you have a great day. Sending you much love. Peace.